Hello everybody. I'm going to show you how to set up Logic with Native Instruments Kontakt running as a pop-up within it for people who want to be able to use an XY pad and preferably just want to use the one on their desktop or on their MacBook or their mouse or whatever. Optionally, you can also use your iPad for this. Increasingly, there are a lot of instruments that require XY pad interaction, for example, Thrill and Mysteria, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of them. And there are very few hardware XY pads available, and they seem to be either kind of pretty expensive or pretty hard to configure. And some of the software ones people have had problems configuring as well. And I've accidentally come up with this way of doing it, and I think it's very useful and easy. So let's get started. I've got an instrument here, and it's a Kontakt instrument, but I haven't yet decided what instrument it's going to be. So I'm going to go in and choose something that requires an XY pad. So I'm going to go down to Mysteria because I like it, and let's fire that up. And I'm going to choose. Let's go for a cluster. I don't know, let's go for Melancholic Requiem. That sounds good. I've got a little keyboard on the side here you can't see, but I'm going to play a note and I'm going to move this XY trackpad around using the trackpad on my MacBook, and you will be able to hear what it does. Okay, so that's kind of fun. However, the problem with this is that even if you were to start Logic recording, whatever you did with this virtual trackpad here, this is just kind of a demo mode thing. It doesn't actually record into Logic, and we need to be able to record into Logic, and it's surprisingly difficult to find a way of doing that. So let's close this. We've got the instrument selected, and what I'm going to show you here, so you can either go to View and show Smart Controls, or you can just select the track and click on B on your keyboard. That's B. And down here, so this basically is showing you what, if you were using Logic Remote on your iPad, this is letting you select what controllers would appear above the keyboard on the iPad. And you can, once you set all this up, you can do it on your iPad if you would prefer, but actually it works simply on your Mac. You don't need to use the iPad at all. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to, firstly, under Automatic Smart Controls, we're going to choose, there's a whole range of different ones here. You can see they kind of all look different, but we're going to choose Modern Synth 2 because it has a little trackpad, which is quite useful. Okay, so click on that trackpad and you'll see it's got X and Y axes. You can select with your mouse between them. So I'm selecting the X axis. Coming over here to this section where it says Unmapped, and this little thing indicates there's a drop down available. Click on that and go down to Kontakt 7 or whichever version of Kontakt you're running, and scroll right to the bottom, and remembering that this is the X axis you've got selected, click on X Mix. Now click on the Y axis, same thing, Unmapped, drop down, Kontakt, right down to the bottom, and we're looking for Y intensity there, and that's it. Okay, so what will happen now is I'm going to play the sound, and I'm going to move. If you look carefully, you see there is actually a little square on this trackpad. I'm going to move this little trackpad as I play the sound. And it would be tempting to think that that's just a little preview, but actually the really useful thing is this records. So we're going to set a record for a few bars, and I'm going to press a note once the count in is done, and then I'm going to fiddle the trackpad and show you how that works. Okay, so we're done there. I'm going to press play. And if you look down here, you can see that this is moving around, echoing the made while I was recording it. So that's a really nice, simple way of achieving this. However, there's more. There's another really useful thing. So I'm now going to record a few notes. Let's say I was playing with both hands. I'm going to press many notes, and actually I'm not using both hands, but I could be, in which case I wouldn't have a free hand for the trackpad. So I'm just going to record without doing anything with the trackpad. Okay, and that's looping, and you can hear it playing back. Now it's still recording, so what I can now do is when it gets back to the beginning of the loop, I'm going to use the trackpad. Done. So now that's playing back. And you can see the trackpad is moving around. Watch it again. And you can clearly hear the sound changing. Okay, so that's it. It's really easy. You don't need to use your iPad. You can if you want to. You can play with two hands and come back and add the XY data later, and it's going to save you a ton of money.